Okay, I'm in Halstead today. It's a Monday morning. It's the Jubilee fountain there. There's the church. It's quite hilly in Halstead actually. Doing about a 7-mile walk today out of this book here, 50 Walks in Essex. I've only got this walk and another walk left in this book, so it's one of the last ones. I'm going over there next. It's actually 2 walks linked together in this book, so the first one's only about 3 miles, the next one's about 4.5-ish. There's a pub over there, so that might be open later on when I come back. It's a bit built up in this bit in the town centre, so I'll film again later on when I get to, I think it's called Box Hill or Box Mill Meadow, yeah, so it should be a bit more scenic there. Okay, more to come in a bit. Okay, so up there are the Courtauld Homes of Rest. Courtauld is a name that's going to feature a lot in this walk. A lot of significant things. Basically, it's a name that goes back a long way, yeah, there's a lot of history, in that name. So there it is, Courtauld Homes of Rest, 1923. So yeah, I'm going to be talking quite a bit about that. There's quite a bit in the guidebook about Samuel Courtauld and sort of the impact that he had on Halstead and the surrounding area. So if you look at over there, some nice panoramic views. Yeah, it's quite hilly here. I suppose we're up in sort of the north of the county, not far from Sudbury, over border in Suffolk. So yeah, really nice sort of this area of Essex. So yeah, I'll get back to you in a bit. Surrounded by the gentle rolling countryside of the Colne Valley in North Essex, Halstead developed over many centuries as a busy market town, and in the Middle Ages much of its prosperity came from the wool trade. In the early 19th century, Samuel Courtauld, 1793 to 1881, an industrious and successful businessman, brought a new lease of life to the town. A descendant of a Huguenot refugee family, he set up in business as a silk throster, which is a person who twists silk fibres into thread, and his family went on to found the internationally known Courtauld's Company. Okay, so I'm in Box Mill Meadow at the moment. It's a lot nicer here. Sort of the town's south that way, and this is this river here that I'm just crossing over on this bridge. This is the River Colne, so it's flowing south into the river. It's really nice here. So I'm gonna cross over here, carry on through here, see if I can find somewhere to sit down, maybe have a quick snack, and I'll carry on reading some more about Samuel Courtauld and the whole history of the Courtaulds and Halstead in a little bit. I'm just sat by the River Colne. I found a nice little place to stop for a snack out of the sun. It's sort of, I don't know, it's not quite midday yet, so we're not the hottest part of the day, but it's quite warm out still, so the sun's yet to sort of get to its peak. So I thought I'd just sit here for 5 minutes and just read you a little bit and tell you a bit about, like, say more of the history of the Courtaulds family, and like Halstead's connection with them. Okay. Courtaulds has its share of ups and downs, but always seemed one step ahead of its competitors due to a policy of diversification. When the silk industry dwindled, mainly due to French competition, the company specialised in the production of mourning crepe, which was to become the definitive fashion material during and after Queen Victoria's reign. So that's 1837 to 1901. When crepe fell out of favour, Courtaulds turned to the manufacture of artificial silk, which became such a success that brand name materials such as Celanese saw the company through the depression of the 1930s. The Courtaulds connection with Halstead began in 1825, when Samuel Courtauld bought the present Townsford Mill and converted it to produce silk woven fabrics. Much of the raw material was imported in bulk from India. In those days the cloth was produced in the workers' homes, and some of these early weavers' cottages can still be seen next to the mill in Bridge Street. By 1891 the mill became one of England's largest employers, where 1,400 people, the vast majority young girls and women, toiled at 1,000 looms. The Courtauld family left legacies throughout Halstead, and on this walk you will discover some of them, such as the Jubilee Fountain at the top of Market Street. That's where I started the walk, that would be in the first part of the video, on a spot previously occupied by the old Market Cross. In Headingham Lane you can see the Courtaulds workers' houses, which are named after characters and titles from Jane Austen's novels. I did actually see those. There was like 3 or 4 houses built in 1929, and there was like I think it was like Sens, Sax, something like that, and then the end one was called Sensibility, so obviously Sense and Sensibility there. Okay, the family also footed the bill for building Halstead Cottage Hospital, while the homes of rest next door, which we saw earlier, next door, a semicircular row of single-storey dwellings built in 1923, provided much needed housing for retired silk weavers. Samuel Courtauld became very rich and lived to the ripe old age of 88 in an impressive Tudor mansion called Gosfield Hall, a few miles from Halstead. During the 1920s his great nephew and namesake would often drive or walk along Box Mill, where he apparently took a dislike to the housing and duly replaced them with his own preferred style of cottages. The young Samuel, 1876 to 1947, went on to establish the Courtauld Institute of Arts in London before he died. In 1982 Courtauld's factory finally closed down, but there's little doubt that his name lives on in Halstead. And yeah, it surely does. As I say, like, there's a lot of things named after him. You know, the silk weavers' cottages, even the hospital. It's a small little hospital that I passed, and it literally did look like a cottage, and that's what they've called it here, Halstead Cottage Hospital. And yeah, you know, Halstead's got a lot to thank for him by the sounds of it. Sounds like he's almost kind of planned and designed the whole town himself, really. So yeah, it's a really fascinating little bit of history, that. As I would have mentioned this stuff more as we were walking past some of these buildings, but yeah, the road was quite busy and you probably would have struggled hearing me, so I thought I'd just come find this quiet little scenic spot. So you just have to use your imagination a little bit, but yeah, really nice little town here, and well recommend, you know, doing the walk. This is Halstead's Courtaulds connection, so it's walk 18 in 50 walks in Essex by the AA, and that's the map. Okay, I'll speak to you in a bit. Okay, so I've just passed or rather crossed over the footbridge over the River Colne, and apparently 2 mills, a water mill and a wind-powered one, once occupied that spot there. So I am carrying on along here, and then there's a left turn up ahead, and that veers away from the river apparently. So this is the public gardens just opposite the Methodist Church, quite close to Trinity Church as well. I'll photograph that. That'll be at the end of the video. Really nice. And then sound's going to cut out. Just over there you can just see about there, just above my finger, there's the other church up at the top of Market Hill where I started the walk. and the extension of the walk carries on up there actually, so when I come back to there, I'm going to carry on do the other walk in the book that sort of carries on from that, so you can extend the walk basically. So yeah, really nice here. A little bit of a breeze, which is nice. It's keeping you cool. The sun is starting to come out and get quite warm. Okay, so I haven't got far to go on this first little walk. I'll speak to you in a bit. Okay, so I'm at the old Townsford Mill, which was the Coultall's Mill, and I'm in the causeway at the moment. Really nice sort of area of Halstead. You can tell there's a lot of history here. Really scenic. You can tell this is like the town council's just over there, just behind that building there, just where my finger is. So you can tell it's sort of like the touristy centre of Halstead, yeah, apart from the high street. Really nice. I'm sat in the smoking area at the Bull Inn, just off of Bridge Street. I think it's actually on Bridge Street in Halstead. Finished the first walk, treat myself to a pint of Bulmers, lovely jubbly, and I'm going to carry on with the next walk after I've had this. So I'm going to enjoy this, and you'll see me in a bit. I know this isn't the best view of the pub to explain this, but I've just been sat here reading the book, and it turns out that this is a 500-year-old coaching inn, and the Bull, which is this pub I'm sat in, was featured in the TV series Lovejoy. So any Lovejoy fans out there, you might recognise this pub, not this bit, but probably the front of the pub. There's a photograph of it I'll put at the end of the video. The other 500-year-old coaching inn is the White Hart, which apparently ran a regular service to Great Yarmouth. Yeah, so there are a lot of like tea rooms, restaurants and pubs in Halstead, but they're the two of particular historic interest, so yeah, I thought I'd definitely have to check those out. But yeah, how about that, Lovejoy? So anyone recognise it, let me know. So I'm starting the second walk at Halstead now, and it looks like I'm heading out towards sort of the open countryside, leaving the town behind. I'm at Greenstead Green, just outside Halstead. I'm at St James the Great Parish Church. I'm going to go inside in a minute. And this old building here, that's the old school. Looks like an old schoolhouse actually, and it is called the old school. So I'll go in now. A nice lich gate here. A little bit of history to mention about this church and Greenstead Green. There's a spire, that's amazing. I've seen that for, well, I'd say a good couple of miles away. I've got some photos of it in the distance. Amazing looking. Sort of reminds me of the tower of the church at Halstead. So I'm going to stop here, have a snack, and tell you a little bit about the history as well. I'm inside the church of St Peter the Great, Greenstead Green, and yeah, once again there's a lot of history. I'm just going to read you a little bit. Dr. Elizabeth Courtauld, another member of the Courtauld family that I've mentioned on these two walks. And yeah, so while I'm in here, I'm going to take a seat and tell you about the history. Greenstead Green owes much of its ecclesiastical heritage to Mary Guy, or G. Born in 1795, she married into an influential Essex family and later became a wealthy widow. She bore the cost of constructing this church in 1844. The vicarage and the school, which we've just seen outside, the old school, as well as Halstead's Holy Trinity Church. I've taken a photograph of that back in the other walk as well, so that'll be there. I'll put a comment next to that. It says to look in the church here at St James's. It's not St Peter's, by the way, I made that mistake earlier. Look in St James's at the north wall, which has two plaques, one dedicated to Mary Guy, or G, and the other is to an American airman whose plane crashed nearby in World War II. So I'm just going to take the camera round, look for these plaques. Okay, I found one here. That's dedicated to Mary Guy, or G, deceased year eve of nativity AD 1864. By her was this church builded and endowed. Blessed are the dead which die in the Lord, for they rest from their labours. Endowed. The school and parsonage builded AD 1844. Okay, I'm going to look for the other plaques dedicated to the American airman whose plane crashed nearby. I think it's probably back this way. It's a nice little model of the church here. That looks like the lich gate there. I don't think, no, that's not it there. No, that's not it either. It's got to be back along here somewhere, I think. The tapestries there, quite nice. I think this might be it here. There's an American flag actually. Yeah, here it is, next to the organ. Here it is. In memory of 2nd Lieutenant Dwight G. Belt USA AF Air Force, whose aircraft crashed in the field adjacent to this church, October the 1st, 1944. How sad's that? That's not even like the war ended, you know, the following year. It was over in less than a year after that. He would have been flying over this way. I mean, there was probably no fighting going on or anything. He probably just crashed, you know, I don't know exactly how, but it probably wasn't involved in, like, you know, a dogfight, like aerial combat. It's quite sad, that. And there's, I don't know if you can see this little picture there of him there. 1st of October 1944, close to this spot, P-47 Thunderbolt of 78th FG 84th FS crashed, killing its pilot, 2nd Lieutenant Dwight Garrison Belt. Let them in, Peter. They are very tired. Give them the couches where the angels sleep. Let them wake whole again to new dawns fired, with sun, not war, and may their peace be deep. Remember where their broken bodies lie, and give them the thing they like. Let them make noise. God knows how young they were to have to die. Give swing bands, not gold harps, to these our boys. Let them love, Peter. They have had no time. Girls sweet as meadow wind with flowering hair. They should have tress and bird song, hills to climb, the taste of summer in a ripened pear. Let them how they are missed. Say not to fear. It's going to be all right with us down here. Elmer Dean to Dwight from Helen and daughter Elaine. We will not forget you. Thameside Aviation Museum. It's really nice, that. Yes, yeah, it seems quite sad, really, that, let's say, he's probably, you know, died. Probably not even, as I say, you know, in combat. That was probably just flying over here. Something obviously went wrong. Really fascinating. Little snippets of history like that you find in local churches and stuff. People often pass them by and they don't notice little things like that. I mean, that's you know, it's a significant little piece of local history, that, you know, planes don't always just crash into fields in villages in the middle of nowhere. So yeah, it's really interesting. Rather sad, really. Anyway, I'm gonna continue on now from the church. This extra walk isn't actually that long, really. I'm about halfway. Well, I'm over halfway through it already, so I should be back to the car in plenty of time. I'm going to film a little bit more in a bit whilst I'm outside. Okay, just through the trees there. On the left is Greenstead Hall. I haven't got far to go now. Some cows up ahead. They're looking interested. Yeah, not far to go now. So unless anything else of interest turns up before the end of the walk, you'll see me back at the church at the top of Market Hill in Halstead. Just got past Greenstead Hall, through the cow field. They followed me. And I just come out to a really nice, if slightly urban view, built up view of Halstead laid out before me in the distance. Okay, I'm going to zoom in on the two churches. So first off, to our left, you probably can't see it in the camera. It's always the way I can see clearer here. But just above my finger, there's the Holy Trinity Church. And that's up at Chapel Hill that way. That's where some of the oldest houses in Halstead are, along there. So yeah, I walked that way when I did sort of like the first shorter walk. There was like a circular sort of little walk round Halstead, Boxmill Meadow, and it took me up to there and then came back to Chapel Street. Okay, and then you can probably see this one a bit clearer. So we've gone from the right here at Holy Trinity Church, and then I think this one's St Peter's Church. I should really check the book again, but that's your church at the top of Market Hill there, and that is my finish point for both walks. And then literally just a short minute walk from there is Chapel Street, where the car's parked. So you can see that church for quite a way around it, from quite a couple of miles away and stuff like that. It's a prominent landmark. It looks amazing up on the hill, and it's sort of like I suppose the highest point in Halstead, I'm guessing. So yeah, really nice sort of way to sort of end the walk. Really, is walking back along here, and you sort of see, the town and everything that you've been exploring laid out before you. Really nice. I always think that whoever comes up with these routes, they must plan it so that they come they walk through this way and they come back to and go, this path would be a really good end point to walk back towards, the start point here, because you've got the view of the whole town sort of thing in front of you. Always really good. Always a good way to end a walk like that. Thaxted was like that. Quite a few I've done. I can't remember all of them. I'd have to check back at the video footage and the photos, but yeah, really amazing. So I'll probably do a short video when I get back to the church there at Market Hill, and that will probably wrap it up. I'm inside St Andrew's Church at the top of Market Hill in Halstead, and I've just finished both of the walks that link up together in that book, 50 Walks in Essex, the AA book. And yeah, it's just started getting really hot now. So getting a bit of headaches, even though I've been drinking plenty of water. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to sort of getting back now and getting to work. Some brasses here on the floor, look very old. Then we've got these. I love these things, like the sort of the big, I don't know what you call them, the coffins, or then there's another pair over here as well. John's second Lord Bourchier and Elizabeth Coggeshall. And there's the rest of the church. Really big church. Very big church, very high ceiling. Anyway, so yeah, I'm just going to grab my stuff. I picked up a church guide, signed the guest book as always. I always do that in every church I go to. And yeah, I'm just going to head outside the door now, back into the heat. Oh, very heavy door. I shouldn't really complain working at a gym, but anyway. So I'm back outside, top of Market Hill, and I'm going to head that way. It's been a nice little walk, this. Really good, lots of history, always good. And just leave you with a nice shot of the church. And yeah, so I'm going to walk back to the car now, it's not far. So hope you've enjoyed this one. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully you'll see the next one. So yeah, you'll see me in on the next walk. Thanks again for watching. See you later.